Hi, hello, and welcome to the channel. I'm Lady Celine, and today we are continuing on with Chaos Head Noah. Let's see, we are still in the first chapter. Ooh, a lot of firsts last time. We had our first physical contact with a girl. I'm sure that was pretty big for Takumi. We even went on our first date. Now, it wasn't explicitly romantic, but we did get a very nice little love letter at the end. So yeah, I think we did. I didn't have to choose to do anything, but it sounds like everybody had a good time. Let's yeah, continue with you, I guess. Whoa, the fire was burning. Long tongues of flame danced within the incinerator. Inside it, a sailor uniform and several textbooks were being burnt to ash. Oh shit, new girl. A house in the foothills, overlooking the Sato Inland Sea. In the distance, you could hear the whistles of the ships. A salty breeze gently shook the trees around the house. Is this perhaps the murderer girl? We got the pink hair, but I don't know how common that is in this particular universe. Despite her idyllic surroundings, the small girl in front of the incinerator, Kozue Orihara, was in a miserable state. Her eyes reflected the red light of the fire as she watched the sailor uniform and textbooks burn to ash in the incinerator. Until yesterday, that had been her uniform, and those had been her textbooks. She was the one who put them in the incinerator, but she must have still felt some attachment to them because she kept staring at them. Suddenly, she winced in pain and put her hands tightly over her ears. I'm sorry, is this just like a public fire? Is this a thing? She opened her mouth, but that was all she could do. She couldn't moan or cry. All she could do was gasp for breath. She kept shaking her head as if begging for something to stop. Then she collapsed, falling onto the ground. She looked up exhausted at the sky. She stayed there, unmoving, for several minutes. And then, suddenly, she turned around. She was staring at the house's veranda. The house was made of wood and over 50 years old. Even though it was still daytime, much of the veranda was shrouded in deep shadow, leaving it in darkness. She slowly staggered up and walked towards it. Just then, her mother appeared as if she'd been waiting. Oh, Kozue. I've been looking for you. Do you have all your things together? Kozue nodded and sat on the veranda. In just 2 days, you'll be saying goodbye to this house, huh? Her mother stood behind her and looked at the peaceful Seto Sea. It's your first time going to Tokyo, right? Oh, I hope you make some good friends there. Okay, so they're moving. That explains why she's, I guess, burning her existing school uniform. I don't understand why the textbooks, though. Kozue didn't reply to her mother's kind words. She didn't shake her head or nod. She just stared sadly at the incinerator in the corner of the yard and the flames that still rose from it. Okay, so the incinerator is part of their yard. It's part of their plot of land or whatever. It was a week after, on a school day. As usual, I headed to school in a gloomy mood, staring down at my feet as I went. I think we're back to Takumi. But that was okay. That was a an interesting little aside. We get a shot to another girl that's going to be changing schools. I wonder if maybe she'll be going to Suime? Maybe. Fall was clearly at hand. The trees in Shoto Park were changing colors, and I was starting to feel cold in my short-sleeved shirt. Since I spent almost all my time in my room, it always felt strange when the seasons changed like this. It still felt like summer to me. That reminds me, like, does his shipping container have, like, heating or AC or like a little miniature unit for both. They didn't really cover that because he doesn't have windows. Like, you'd have to have some kind of airflow, right? I'd spent the whole weekend playing ESO. Grim kept asking about Yua, but I just ignored him. Yua hadn't sent me any more messages. Maybe she'd given up when I hadn't replied. I certainly hoped so. I never wanted to hear from her again. God, she was annoying. Whenever I talked to her, I always felt myself wavering. I started to feel, hope. But there was no point in a creepy otaku like me having hope. I'd lived my whole life without ever having hope fulfilled. That's why I'd lost interest in 3D girls. Oh, okay, we became an incel at a young age. Please don't make me hope. Please don't have any hopes for me. Suddenly, someone patted me on the shoulder from behind. I turned around, expecting to see Nanami or Misumi, but was surprised. Okay, I was expecting Misumi, but I don't remember a Nanami. Nishijo! Her cheeks were a little flushed, and she was smiling at me. For some reason, she was out of breath. I thought I saw you in the distance, so I ran to catch up with you. Hadn't she given up? Did she still have hopes for me? Good morning, Nishijo. Uh-huh. I finally got to say it. It took 4 days, counting the weekend. Oh, I sent you an email last week. Did you read it? By the time I realized I'd nodded, it was too late. We're already admitted. Good. You didn't answer, so I thought maybe you hadn't received it. I thought about sending it again a bunch of times, but I'm glad I didn't. Good thinking. Or good to second think that. You don't want to be the needy girl right away, especially with how any interaction pushes this guy away. What did she want me to do? Was I supposed to just fall in love with her? Be her boyfriend? And then we were supposed to what? Be a happy, loving couple? Impossible. That kind of thing was for other people, not me. I wanted to do it, but there was no way I could. Okay, so there is a will. He's still acknowledging it's there, it's in him. We can still break out of this antagonistic shit. I still didn't understand why Yua liked me anyway. I couldn't trust her. So it was just impossible. Oh, Nishijo, what's wrong? Huh? Oh, you're just standing there. I started walking fast to leave her behind, but she jogged to catch up with me. I went to your class the other day, but you weren't there. I was worried you might have gotten a cold or something. Aw, she was worried about you? I'm glad you're okay, though. I only come to school 2 to 3 times a week? Yeah. I only come to school every once in a while. Okay, it's interesting. This game was like before the pandermatologist. And I wonder if like online schooling was a thing at all before that for Japan. I don't know. Because that would also make more sense as like if he could do stuff from home. But apparently not. Everybody thinks I'm a hikikomori. You're disgusted, aren't you? You learned who I really am, and now you don't like me anymore, right? It's fine. I never expected anything in the first place. Go ahead. Think I'm creepy, then just leave me alone. I see. Well, I'm glad we were able to see each other today. No. I didn't know how to react like that. I didn't know how to react to that. So I guess hikikomori is sort of an agoraphobe, but also just like, God damn it, I can't remember. Antisocial. God, I can't remember the word for it. I found myself staring into her smile. Our eyes met, and then I quickly lowered my gaze. Why wasn't she treating me like she thought I was creepy? Oh, and anyway, if you're coming to school once in a while, I think you can't really be a hikikomori. I'm sorry, that's really none of my business. But it's really hard. If that's true, then I think that's really impressive. Huh? That wasn't something I ever expected to hear. What was impressive about a loser like me? Maybe she thinks it's impressive that you push through the social anxiety and agoraphobia just enough to come to school, get your degree on a minimum basis. Yua smiled gently at me. It was a smile that could heal a wounded heart. That's how it felt to me. You're coming to school, even though it's hard. Oh, see, she's empathetic. I like her. Most people just wouldn't come if it was that hard. But I'm an otaku, and I'm creepy. I like hearing the things you have to say. What? Why was she telling me all this? Why did it feel so good? Why are my pants getting tight? It felt like she was holding me in a warm embrace. Or like that she was telling me that it was okay for me to be here. Damn, maybe with her help, I could go back to being a normal person. See, he acknowledges it. It's still there. There is a back. There is a normal person still within him. Oh no, that's the first bell. Suddenly, I realized that there were barely any students left around us. They'd all gone inside the school building. All right, Nishijo, I'll see you later. Oh, are you free after school? Huh? If you don't mind, could we maybe walk home together? Will you walk me home? She spoke softly, her cheeks turning a little red. I'll be waiting in the courtyard after school if you do decide you want to come. That is so sweet. Oh, but don't feel like you have to. Bye. She bowed politely and headed off to the third-year wing. As I watched her go, I pinched my cheek. Just as I thought, this wasn't a dream or a delusion. Things are not wavy. Our eyesight is very still and very straight right now. I spent the whole day's worth of classes in a daze. I don't think I heard a single thing the teacher said. I just rested my chin on my hand and stared out at the autumn sky. I think is she winning him over? I think he's getting a little smitten. He's getting there, okay. Neither my classmates nor the teachers paid the slightest bit of attention to me. But Yua paid attention to me. She wasn't like the rest of those assholes. I sat there the whole day, thinking about her and indulging in one delusion after another, and before I knew it, school was over. Are we excited to walk home with her? Oh, hey Taku, another date today? Things are going pretty well with that girl in the glasses, right? Hey, don't tell me you're holding back just because you're a NEET. If she likes you, whether you decide to date her or not, it's just polite to have... I'm not doing that. Hey, why are you so loud? I'm not doing things like that with Yua. What? You still talking that way? Are you still talking that way? Why are you giving up before you've even started? Isn't it about time you graduated from being a hikikomori? I'm not a hikikomori. That's not what I meant, anyway. Misumi only cared about sleeping with girls. He wouldn't understand. I gotta say, between a fuckboy like Misumi and the creepy otaku like Takumi, gosh, I don't know which one I would hate to be stuck in a room with more. I ran past the confused-looking Misumi and quickly left the classroom. The fastest way to get to the courtyard from the second-year classrooms was to go across the connecting corridor to the third-year students' building, then head down the stairs, at least as far as I knew. I didn't come to school that often, so I didn't know what led me where. I didn't know what led where. I didn't even know where some places, like most of the special classrooms, were. So I was a little nervous when I went down the connecting corridor. Ooh, we got a new girl. There was a girl standing in the middle of the corridor, staring up at the sky. She had a very stern expression on her face. She didn't seem lost in thought or anything like that. She was clearly in a place that would block traffic, but she wasn't moving at all. Come on, I know you hear my footsteps getting closer. Get out of the way, I'm in a hurry. For some reason, she felt like a DQN. I needed to make sure not to get closer or let her notice me. Just as I tried to walk past this girl, who I decided to call Girl B.
Oi.
Hey. Oh? Crap, she talked to me. Was she going to mug me? Right here in the middle of the school? Or was she going to say she didn't like my face, then take me to her group of DQN friends so they could beat me up? But please, no. What did I ever do to you? I glanced over at her to find she was glaring at me.
お前誰だ
Who are you? Huh? I wasn't sure how to answer that. I was Takumi Nishijo, obviously, but I'd never met this girl, so there was no way she would know that. She must be planning to do something really terrible to me. Sorry. I bowed quickly, being careful not to look at her, and then ran away at top speed. Yep, like a coward. I ran down the staircase in the third-year wing and out the doors, then glanced behind me. The scary girl didn't seem to have followed me. Whew. The 3D world was an awful place. There were traps everywhere. We don't call girls traps. I took a few deep breaths and looked around the courtyard. The courtyard was between the pool and the school building and was really more of a corridor than a yard. There were flower beds placed at regular intervals where purple flowers bloomed. What were those flowers called? I didn't actually know. I saw Yua standing in front of one of the flower beds, staring down at it while she waited. She was really here. She was really waiting for me. Not for anybody else, just for me. Yua wasn't going to betray me. Maybe I could believe in her after all. Hell, maybe she could save me. Oh? Yua looked up and noticed me. And then her eyes went wide in surprise. I stood there, looking away in embarrassment. I didn't know if it was okay to walk up to her or not. Why was she surprised? Did I mess up by coming? As I tried to figure out what to do, she ran up to me. Are we going to get maybe a little hug or something?
びっくりしました
You surprised me. Huh?
西条くんが本当に来てくれるなんて
You really came.
どうせ来てもらえないって諦めかけてたんです
I'd almost given up because I thought you weren't coming.
でも待っててよかった
I'm so glad I waited. I was surprised. She might have the same kind of mentality I did, the kind that was pessimistic about everything. I mean, you didn't really give her much hope that you would see her immediately after school. Like, you've been very, not like cold towards her, but like clearly still keeping to yourself and warming up. So that's cute. She notices the little things. I want her to be my girlfriend. But there was one big difference between Yua and me. I was pessimistic and didn't do anything. Yua was pessimistic but took action. That was something I really respected about her. I wanted to be that way too, I thought.
一緒に
Will you walk home with me?
くれますか
I nodded in response to her question. She and I headed for the school gate together. I felt kind of embarrassed. As we walked home, it felt like the other students were shooting me jealous glances. The more I started to notice people staring, the more I started to freeze up. I should have known there was no way I could walk home with a girl.
Mhm.
Huh? I passed by a teacher I didn't recognize. Actually, the only reason I thought they were a teacher was that they were wearing a suit. But did we have any teachers that young? I rarely came to school, so, of course, I didn't know who our teachers were or what they looked like. Sometimes I even forgot my homeroom teacher's face. The teacher in the suit looked around, seemingly lost, before heading toward the school building.
どうしました
Something wrong?
Uh.
I quickly shook my head and started walking alongside her again. So that's interesting. Like, he's seeing people that he doesn't recognize. This one girl that he didn't recognize also didn't recognize him, but like acted like she was supposed to be there. Like, we got like some overlap, I don't know, like overlapping timelines or something? I don't know. The base was 10 minutes away from school, which was a bit farther than the train station at Shinsen Yua used to go home. So I guess I was walking her home instead of the other way around. Out of sheer habit, I walked us through Shoto Park, cutting through it diagonally shaved a minute or so off the commute.
日常くんって朝よくこの公園でパンを食べてませんか
You sometimes eat breakfast here in the morning, don't you? Oh, yeah. How did she know? Bruh, she's been stalking you. We know this.
よく見かけたんですでもいる時といない
I
時が
thought
あって
so. I saw you here a lot. But some days you were here and some days you weren't.
今日ようやくその謎が解けました
And today I
学校
finally
にた
figured
ま
out
に
the
しか来ない
reason.
からだったんです
It's
ね
because you only come to school a few days a week, right? Yes, that
別に
logically
それ
makes
がダメ
sense.
って言ってるわけじゃなくてですね
Oh, I'm not saying that's bad or
素朴な
anything.
疑問だったので
I'm just saying I was curious. Yeah. Yua suddenly stopped and looked over at the bench where I always ate breakfast. Right now, it was empty.
なんだかここに座っているあなたの背中は
For some reason, whenever I saw you sitting there, you looked
辛そう
sad.
に見えて
She suddenly leaned forward, just a little, and ran her fingers across the back of the bench.
何度も見かけるうちにだんだん気になってきて
The more I saw you, the more I began to wonder about you. The bench was right in front of the fence surrounding the lake. Since I always sat facing the lake, I didn't need to worry about anyone gazing at me. There was also a small water mill right next to it, which was another reason that I liked the spot. It served to partially hide me.
ここ最近は姿を見かけなかった日は
Lately,
心配で
on the
ご飯
days that
が
I
喉を
didn't
通
see
らなか
you,
ったりしてたんです
I was so worried I couldn't eat. Girl, I think you're getting a little too attached. Okay, now I'm thinking she's getting a little too attached. Really, me? Really? I hadn't noticed her watching me at all.
バカみたいですよね
It's
一度も
silly,
話し
isn't
た
it?
こともない人の心配してる
Worrying
の
so much about a person I had never even talked to?
でも
Yes,
話しかける勇気もなかったので
but I didn't have the courage to talk to you. So that was why she was acting like a stalker at first. She wasn't a stalker. She was just really worried about me, maybe.
ちょっと座ってみてもいいですか？
Can I sit down?
日常くんがどんな景色を見ていたのか
I want to know what it is you were always looking at.
知りたいから。
I didn't have a reason to say no. I nodded, still looking out at the lake. She put her bag on the bench and then quietly sat down. Then she sat upright, with good posture, looking at the lake. It was so quiet, so peaceful, and she was right there with me. The soft wind made ripples on the water and gently rustled through her hair. Was this what it was like to have a normal life? It was just a normal day, a normal situation. So why did it feel like I was about to cry?
ここで朝食をとるのって気持ちよさそうですよね。
This feels like a nice place to have breakfast. I watched her from the side as she quietly spoke. If we were in an H game, this would totally be when I asked her to be my girlfriend. She'd say yes, we'd kiss, and that would be the good ending. Depending on the route, maybe we'd even engage in some naughty outdoor fun.
私も今度やってみようかな。
Maybe I'll try it too sometime. I hope she means having breakfast. She tilted her head to look up at me. Unable to speak, I turned my gaze toward her bag. What, she gonna pull out like bagels or something? As I stared at the three I don't know if it's Gero or Garo. As I stared at the 3 Garo Froggy straps on it, I cursed myself for being too lame to talk to a girl. Ooh, okay. Wait. So I can confirm or deny the delusion, I think. Hang on. Okay, so it just says delusion trigger, and I can go, yeah, good or bad with it. Ooh, I'm curious what happens if I have a bad delusion. Wait a second. Did I just see something? What was I looking at? Garo Froggy, a character popular with high school girls. I'd seen it somewhere before, but where? Dude, your sister's bag. Her cell phone. Room 36. Oh, yeah. Wait, isn't that... I thought that's where we met you, right? Or did she run into us outside? I forget. The room next to room 37, the one I always used at Cafe. The first day I'd met her, there had been someone in there looking at a new gen aggregator site. Oh, that's right. We saw the new gen stuff pulled up on the computer. I'd seen her at the cafe, then panicked and rushed out. Did that mean the person in the next room over was... I looked down at her as she looked up at me. Her gaze from behind her glasses collided with mine. It was the first time our eyes had met since we'd known each other. She was still smiling, but it quickly turned into a look of uncertainty. What kind of look was on my face? I couldn't tell. I looked back at her bag, then the straps. I thought I heard her gasp.
日常くん
Nishijo? There was a gust of wind. Yellow leaves blew off the trees and danced in the air. 100 thoughts were racing in my mind. Garo Froggy was popular, even if I couldn't understand why. There could be any number of people with 3 Garo Froggy straps on their bag. But room 36. Yua might have been sitting next to me then, but she never said a word about it. Okay, see, now I'm confusing. I don't know why I thought she was in that room, even like before all this suspiciousness. But also, yeah, the this Garo Froggy trend, and also the new gen murders being like basically a pop culture, talking point. People be talking about it. in their personal lives, and ooh, gotta look into the latest, goriest, nasty story. And then there were the new gen killings. I'd totally forgotten about them, but I'd been witness to one of the crimes. That terrible scene came flooding back to me, and I'd seen the killer's face.
これですか？ゲロカエルンって言うんです。
Oh, this is called Garo Froggy. A few of my friends gave me these. The next thing I knew, I had 3 of them. She gave me a slightly forced smile. Then she reached out toward her bag and tried to take the straps off.
最近女子高生に大人気なんですよ。
Teenage girls really love these things lately.
あんまり可愛いと
I
は思
don't
わないんです
really
けど。
think they're that cute, though. Her hands were shaking a little. Maybe she was nervous because she couldn't get them off.
変だな。どうして外れないんで
That's
しょう。
strange. Why won't they come off?
ちょっと待ってくださいね。
Just hang on. I'll show them to you. Oh yeah, we gonna find some new gen stuff coming out of her bag or something? She finally yanked one off by force, knocking the bag off the bench. It hadn't been zipped up, so her notebooks and textbooks went spilling everywhere.
私ったら何をやってるんでしょう。
Oh dear, what am I doing? Just a few minutes ago, I would have thought the whole scene was very moe, but now all I could do was stare in shock because, by chance, one of the notebooks that fell to the ground had fallen open, and the small memos and newspaper clippings in it had scattered everywhere. It must have been some kind of scrapbook because all the clippings and memos had to do with one subject. I could see it clearly. New gen. I just want to point out, I thought we were going to have a delusion, but right now our eyesight is very straight and not wavy. This part stuff might be real. My voice was hoarse. She was hurriedly trying to pick up the clippings and notes and stuff them back into her bag. She's just a true crime girly, okay? Don't shame her. She stood up, holding it tightly to her chest. Her smile was gone, replaced with an awkward expression. What is that? She didn't answer me. Why won't you answer me? Come on, say something. Have we seen anything? Have they seen anything in the news? Regarding the killing that he witnessed? Because that would have been like 5 days ago at this point. If you don't answer, I'll think you're hiding something. And just when I was about to believe you, just when I thought you were going to be on my side, just when I was starting to believe that.
誰も信じちゃダメ。誰の言葉にも耳を傾けちゃダメ。
Don't believe anybody. Don't listen to anything anyone says. Sero was right all along. All 3D girls were garbage. Even Yua didn't like me. She was just trying to get close to me for some reason of her own. Maybe she was going to turn me over to the police. Maybe she was going to threaten me. Dude, I don't think she knows that you have anything to do with the murders. Or even this particular murder. Because I will say, another theory is that the pink-haired girl is like an alternate personality. And that maybe he is doing these killings. This was awful. Just awful. Just when I was so close to forgetting all about that murder. The cops had never come to say anything. I'd convinced myself that I'd never have to deal with it again. I didn't want to get involved. What was Yua after? I turned around so I could run. But Yua grabbed my wrist from behind. Ooh?
逃げるの？
You're running? Her voice made me shudder. It was so cold I thought I might freeze. She didn't seem anything like the girl I'd been talking to just a moment ago. And... She was gripping my wrist with incredible strength. She was holding it so tightly that it was physically painful. I thought for a moment that she might crush my bones. It hurt so bad. I tried to shake her off, but she wouldn't let go. Instead, she pulled me closer, and I almost fell backwards. You're running? She whispered in an emotionless voice, right behind me and right into my ear. I shivered and slowly turned around. I'm scared to see the expression on her face. Ooh, yeah, them some harsh eyes. The color in her eyes was insane. I won't let you get away, you know. Oh, I apologize for tricking you, but you weren't honest with me either. You were hiding something too, weren't you? Hiding something? There was only one thing I could think of. Somehow, for some reason, she knew that I'd witnessed the crucified corpse and the killer. That's why she'd approached me. She really was a clever one. Everything she'd ever said to me was just a lie. That she'd gotten curious about me when she saw me for the first time. That she liked Bloodtune. That she wanted to go buy the Sarah post-awakening version figure on the day it came out with me. When she'd smiled at something I'd said. When she'd said she wanted to get to know me better. When she said she was worried that I didn't come to school. Even when she said I'd impressed her by coming to school. It was all lies. I clenched my fists in rage and anger. Damn it, damn it, damn it! Why was I ever willing to believe her? I wanted to spend more time learning about you, but now that you found me out, there's no sense in keeping up the facade. There's a story I want you to hear. You'll listen, right? You won't tell me you're not going to listen, right? You should listen. I want you to listen. You'll listen, won't you? If you won't listen... If I won't listen, then what? She was like a totally different person now. That peaceful, easygoing manner she'd had was completely gone. Now she looked cold and unapproachable, with a terrible intensity about her. Her words were cold as ice, as cold as death itself. The signs of weakness and helplessness she normally showed were nowhere to be found. I didn't want to hear those words. I tried to close my ears, but I couldn't. She still had my wrist in her grasp. She wasn't gripping it as tightly as before, but she still wouldn't let it go. I couldn't move my hand. With her free hand, she reached into her bag and took out something metallic and showed it to me. Ooh, is it one of the stakes? Yeah, that's what I thought. I gasped in shock. My heart felt like it was about to leap out of my chest. My mind began to race. I had my free hand over my ear, but I let it drop, and I heard her voice, sounding slightly disappointed. You recognize this cross, right? Of course I did. I knew exactly what it was. It looked like a cross, but it was actually a stake. Not many stakes had such an elaborate design. At least, I'd only seen some once before. That night, scattered on the road, that night, pounded by the demon woman into the wall. That night, pinning the corpse to the wall. So, you do recognize it. You recognize it, don't you? Of course you recognize it. I won't let you say you don't recognize it. You have to recognize it. You recognize it, right? You recognize it, right? I shook my head desperately. An awful sweat was forming on my brow. All I could do was try to wipe it off as I shook my head no. This was in your room. Girl, how'd you get into my room?
あなたの部屋
In your room,
ベッドの下
under the bed,
床に落ちてた
on the floor,
落ちてたの
lying there.
落としたよね
You dropped it there, didn't you?
それとも捨てた
Or did you throw it away?
とにかく落ちてた
Either way, it was there,
落ちてたの
lying there. When did she search my room? The day we first met? When I hurt my leg and she walked me home? When she was staring with shining eyes and a cute face at the Sarah figure? Oh, that's right. She did get to come into our room and, like, ogle over the figures, I guess.
この杭外国製のすごく珍しい杭なのよ
This steak isn't made in Japan. It's extremely
そ
rare.
れとニュージェネ第3の事件で使われた杭と同じ
And it's just like the steaks used in the third new gen killing.
同じなの
It's the same. It's the same, right?
間違いない
I'm sure it's the same. I won't let you say it's not the same. It's the exact same.
壁に貼り付け
The same as the stakes that nailed the body to the wall.
同じ
The same. I was sure of it. This girl thought I was behind the new gen killings. She thought I was the murderer. That doesn't really fit with his narrative of, like, her tricking him to get into talking. Doesn't really fit that exactly. Because then, unless she, like, for some reason expected him or suspected him as the murderer to begin with, and then in her mind confirmed it with finding the stake in his room? Was she trying to be some kind of detective? Yua Kusunoki, teen detective? You know what I thought? Die, bitch. I meant it too. They weren't just empty words. I mean, this stuff might have worked in an anime or a video game. But I knew that her theory had a fatal flaw. I'd seen the killer. I'd seen her with my own eyes, that demon. The girl whose name I didn't know. She wore a Suime uniform. She was close. So, what? She looked down and sighed softly. Her grip relaxed, and at last I was freed.
それ以上でもそれ以下でもないです。ただ、あなたが知ってるかどうかを確かめたかった
Nothing more and
だけ
nothing less. I just wanted to see if you knew or not.
まだ言うつもりじゃなかったですし。
I wasn't actually planning to ask you yet anyway. What did she mean by yet?
それじゃあ、
Yeah, we're not coming out with the formal accusations right now. But she says, let me ask you one more
あなたに
thing.
は予知能力がありますか
Can you see the future? What? My jaw dropped. See the future? What the hell was she talking about? What did that have to do with the murder? I stood there confused as Yua reached into her bag and pulled out several full-color
予知
printouts.
能力があるって思わなきゃ納得できないような画像データをあなたが持っていたから
If you can't see the future, then I don't know how to explain you having these images. The Guro photos that Shogun sent me. Why did Yua have them? Did she, like, hack your computer through the email somehow? Also, what's with this angle that it's being taken at? This is like from like a security camera or something.
あなたはどう
These are
ニュージェネ第3の事件の再現画像を持っているんですか
Why did you have a recreation of the third new gen killing?
しかもこの画像が流出したのは
And these were from the day before the murder, too.
あなたの使った PC にキャッシュが残ってました
They were in your computer's cache. No! I got those photos from some guy named Shogun that I'd never even met before that day. I didn't make them. They should still be in my download history. I know. I could show that to Yua. Wait, where did she get these? How did she know they were still in my computer's cache? When she came to my room, she wasn't there long enough to search my computer. Wait, are you Shogun? Was she trying to set me up? Was Yua behind this whole thing? Was she one of the new gen killers trying to use me as a scapegoat to distract the police from the truth? Please don't hurt me. This wasn't fair. Why me? Because I'm a creepy loser? Because I don't have any friends? Yua just shook her head silently.
その画像はアットカフェルーム37の PC から拾ったんです。
I found these pictures on the PC in room 37 at Ad Cafe.
あなたの PC もで
Okay.
きれば調べたかったんですけど、
I wanted to
その
search your
機会は
computer
さすがにありませ
too,
んでした。
but I didn't have the time. Okay, interesting. So she knew that the room next to her was wait, was she room? No, she was supposedly in room 36. He's room 37, but then said that her computer was the one that had the new gen stuff pulled up. Okay. Maybe he's also Shogun. The room next to room 37, the one I always used at Cafe, she really did think she was some kind of detective. She looked just the slightest bit sorry as she stared at me. For just a single second, she looked like the old Yua. She kept that expression on her face as she rustled through her bag again. This time, she took out a sheet with printed text on it and offered it to me. I had an awful premonition. The logical part of my mind told me I shouldn't look. But I had to. If I didn't find some way to resist, they'd pin it on me.
それがあなたのすべてです。
That is everything you are. Everything I was? Did she steal all my private information? Was she a hacker? My heart pounded as I looked at the printout, but instead of my private information, it was just a chat log. Oh. It was a log of Nightheart and Shogun. There's something strange about that log, right? Huh? What's strange? It was just a normal chat log. I remembered the conversation I had with Shogun. I'm trying to see if I notice any discrepancies, but I'm not sure. So I guess there's the fact that these images were sent the day after, and that he seems to just be talking to himself on the first day. Look at how Nightheart and Shogun talk. The timestamps don't match at all. Huh? What was this? What was going on? The one labeled Nightheart there is you. You're talking on September 28th around 3 a.m. And the next day, you went to At Cafe. You always go to At Cafe after you leave school. And you go to school roughly 2.5 times per week. I asked one of your classmates. They said the days that you went to school last week were Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. The Monday of last week was September 29th, the same day Shogun was in the chat. Wait, what? What? What was she talking about? I looked at the chat log for the PC in room 37 too. And what I learned was... She paused for just a moment before looking right at me and delivering a cruel truth. This whole thing was an act you put on. Don't look at me. Shogun is... Don't look at me. You. That's creepy. I was wondering that, but then also like, is he also like it's like a version of himself from the future sending messages? I don't know, because I'm also again thinking like a split personality thing, but there's got to be some kind of um, time issue involved here. I didn't want to see anything.
何も聞きたくない。
I don't want to hear anything.
時間は一定じゃない。
Time isn't constant.
記憶には矛盾がある。
Memories can contradict each other.
視界にはエラーがある。
There are errors in your vision.
地球は回ってない。
The earth doesn't spin.
これはきっとゲームなんだ。
This is all just a game. I turned on my computer and took a bite out of a fish sausage. Ew, sounds nasty.
僕
I'm
じゃない。
not me. The Seroton wallpaper came up on the monitor.
僕がいるべき世界は。
The world where I belong. I booted up ESO without the slightest hesitation.
ここじゃないんだ。
Isn't this one? Ooh, okay. We got to the end of a chapter. Then I think that's a pretty good place to stop. Shit, well that took a turn really fast. I don't know. Are we Shogun? It was supposed to be a delusion. The wavies weren't there though. And now we're just, I don't know, cut into some child way back. Maybe it's like a young Takumi. Maybe we're going to get some backstory. But damn, that just, as usual, only a chapter in, and it just introduced more questions than answers. Either way, I know I'm looking forward to finding out where it goes from here. Thank you so much for watching if you've made it this far. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it a like. If you didn't, keep it to yourself. Just kidding, you can put it in the comments if you want. And what's the other thing? Subscribe, because if you subscribe, then that means that you're subscribed, and that lets me know that you're interested in seeing the next one. Hope to see you there. Bye!